Hey, I want to share with you a tool I'm working on. This is a free tool running entirely in the browser, and it's intended to help you work with a reference track. It's basically an EQ reference. And the way it works is that you load a track you're working on, and you load your reference, and you select a certain amount of time, and it will show you the average of the EQ over that time for both tracks. And that can help you find some issues in your mix. To start using it, you load your track, you select a moment in time in the track that's pretty busy, where everything is playing together. You do that by clicking on the waveform. Then you can click play to audition that moment. Okay, and the same for the reference track. You can select here how many seconds of audio do you want to average over. It goes up to 10. The default is 5. And you can select smoothing, where high smoothing shows a very neat graph, and as you go down, it gets more and more detailed, but also a bit harder to read. I think highest smoothing is good. And then you can start seeing what's going on. So the intention here is to avoid situations where you're playing your track at a club, you mixed it at home, it sounded really great. Then you're on a real big system, you're playing it right after a great sounding track, and suddenly your track sounds not good in comparison. Maybe the bass is way too weak, maybe the track is too muddy, maybe it's too dark, maybe it's all of those things at the same time, and you have to sit there and for a few minutes just suffer while your not good sounding track is playing out. Intention here is to combat that, mitigate that, maybe entirely fix that. What do we see here? If we hover, we can see that at the low end, there's a up to 19 dB difference between the reference track and my track, and that's very, very big. Here at these muddy frequencies, there's a 17 dB difference. Here in the middle, it looks pretty okay. High end, there's a bit like 5 dB difference at the sparkly frequencies. So if I had played these two tracks one after the other, I think that my track would sound like it's dropped a lot of energy. All the low end is almost gone. Not good. Okay, that's already pretty informative, but if we scroll down here, it has a AI section. And what that does is that if you have an OpenAI API key, and you can get one by going to OpenAI and paying a bit of money, it's not very expensive, you can paste your key. You can give the AI some context. So I like to tell it what genre this is and what kind of advice I'm looking for. And then you can click get advice. And this will take a minute or two. In the meantime, I can explain what is actually being sent. So basically, I only send a screenshot of this graph. I'm not sending the audio itself, and a bit of direction on what kind of advice we're looking for. I see it's already done. So you see that you get some analysis summary. So for example, the sub bass, notably lower than the reference, yeah, as we saw. Also here that we're exceeding at the 140 by 10, which could cause muddiness or boominess. Some stuff on the mid-range, at the high end, minor variations. So this is exactly the stuff we saw ourselves. The nice thing is that it gives like concrete advice, like tips on what kind of EQ settings to put to combat that, and that's a nice starting point. I just want to highlight that not every difference is something you need to fix. So some of these differences are because I'm using different instruments. The track is totally different. So it's okay to have some differences, but like this low end is definitely something that needs to be fixed because these two tracks are going to be playing next to each other and it can't be 20 dB difference in the bass. I probably also want to combat a bit the muddiness. If you mix in a small studio, this is likely to happen that you overemphasize these frequencies. And I might also want to try to increase here the sparkliness and see how that sounds. And I actually already did that, so let's see what the new mix sounds like after having taken this advice. So you see if I load the page initially, there's buttons here to choose files. I already chose those before, so you didn't see me do that. Let's choose this new mix and the reference track. Let's choose moments and see what happens. And you can already see that this is much, much closer. So 4 dB difference in the low end, a bit more controlled muddiness here. Here there's still kind of the same difference, I guess. I did try to push it, but I guess it didn't really come through. Maybe I'm missing some instruments. So I just want to highlight that the fix I did in the low end wasn't just to boost the EQ all the way up to compensate. I actually added a sub bass to my bass to correct this. So it's not just EQ corrections. And yeah, this is pretty much it. There's one more thing I want to show, unrelated to this track. So what I like to do is load my reference track in Traktor and the track I'm working on and just mix them into each other as if it's a DJ set and see if they sound like they're blending well. That's already a good hint whether it's going to work in real life or not. But the other thing I wanted to show is this older version. You can already see from the colors here, like there's a lot less red going on. So it's clearly a lot less bassy than the new mix. And maybe we can play them a bit and see if we can spot the differences. Oh, I want to actually play a different part. I think that's enough. Okay, I don't know how well it translates, but to me, the right track sounds more full, more upfront. There's still stuff to be done. This is still work in progress. I literally just did these changes today while working on the tool. I still hear some stuff to improve, but I think it's really coming closer and closer to what I want. And yeah, this is what I use to get there. A few final words. First of all, this is open source, so you can make a copy of it and edit it, change it, do whatever you want with it. Or if you want, you can share with me the changes you've made, or if you have any advice or things you'd like to see in it, let me know. I'll be happy to include it. And finally, this OpenAI key, you don't have to paste it every time. You can add a URL parameter that will populate it for you. So I have here as a bookmark with a key that I will delete, so it doesn't matter that you can see it. And it gets automatically populated. So just write question mark key equals, paste your key, save it as a bookmark, and then you don't have to type it anymore. This is it. I hope you like it. I hope you find it useful. And if so, let me know. And thank you.